Rise Against Wolves. What up, Random Rockers? Been probably a month or two. More likely a month since my last review, and, well, I mean, I kind of wanted to do an update or something, but I figured I'm going to let you guys know now. I was in band practice, certain things, other personal and other things happening, just, I may have some delays in certain albums. In fact, a certain couple albums came out this week, though one of them I was debating on, and then a certain somebody decided to praise it a lot, surprisingly, for what it is. And maybe I might actually review it instead of save it for a certain particular present for somebody that I know of. So, yeah. But this one I felt bad about, the fact that I didn't bother to keep up with this one, because, I mean, for fuck's sake. I mean, look at this. Unraveling. Religions per minute. Songs of the Counterculture. Suffering the Witness. Appeal to Reason. Endgame. And, of course, The Black Market. And now this. I mean, is that not proof enough to say that I should have been reviewing this? I should have been prepared to review this album. And I feel bad that I haven't, guys. And the real question is this album worth your time, given how some people have been kind of jumped off ship after Appeal to Reason, because of softer reasons and stuff, or at least maybe sometime after Appeal to Reason. Even though, for me, I didn't care for Endgame at first, but I didn't give it the chance it deserved. Black Market, I thought I liked, because it seemed a little different, or at least in a likable kind of way, and then I looked back on it and realized it doesn't seem as strong as it once was. It has its moments, but I can barely really pick them out as well, unfortunately, so it just didn't hit me as hard as maybe past albums. It tried to do something different, but in a way that just didn't really hit me as hard. And this album, well, this album was a bit of a course correction back to the more Endgame Appeal to Reasons albums. That's for darn sure. Though this album is the first to not have that, of which is Bill Stevenson and Jason Livermore to produce this album. It's been the first in so many years since Suffering the Witness that they have not had an album. Since Siren Song's Counterculture, they have never had someone else other than those two guys produce their albums. And now, for the first time, we get Nick Raskulinecz. Forgive me for butchering your name, dude, but yeah, we get this guy instead. And some people who didn't like the last Rush albums, which I've never listened to, so I'm not a huge Rush fan, so it's not like I really care myself, but yeah. The thing is, with this album, you feel like it's missing, but it's not. I mean, given the fact that, I don't know, those Deftones albums prior to Gore, particularly Diamond Eyes and Kono Yokin, were really damn good, and I believe he produced those albums, so I don't see a problem with him producing this at all. In fact, this album in of itself, the real question is there anything that will keep any fan interested while also kind of catering to newer fans? In a way, maybe this album is weaker to a certain degree compared to other albums. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, at this point, I still gravitate towards Siren Songs of the Counterculture, even if there are certain things that they have improved and matured on that I do like, especially vocally, which is the one thing that is pretty much a minor complaint when it came to that album. But production-wise, it's been great, and it seems like even though Suffering the Witness kind of was a backtrack on that production, it eventually seemed to improve upon that over those, both Livermore and Stevenson improved on that over time, and learned from the fact that, Siren Songs had more superior production, and they managed to eventually live up to that production in later efforts, or at least they got to the point where it seemed like the production may have been the same, and they just took a couple other more albums to go off of just to kind of get us used to and adjust to it. But regardless, that's not even the case with this album, since they're not even involved in this producing this album, and I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, this album is pretty damn good, and it is definitely going to make some of my best of the year list for sham sure. I mean, Wolves. The first 5 tracks are pretty well dead givens. The bullshit's kind of here nor there. Politics Love's fine. How Many Walls is pretty well the most obvious, thing to the whole Donald Trump thing. I mean, they're a politically charged band sometimes. Sometimes they'll talk about things like love and stuff. And though their best work in terms of that has mostly been Savior, though they do find ways to kind of cater to the normal people. Like Swing Life Away is a classic, and it's also a good douchebag test, because there are stupid people who will take the line, I show you mine, you show yours first, before even letting the band finish the rest of the song, or letting the rest of the lyrics of the song pretty well explain what they're referring to. Because people are stupid and like to put their mind in the gutter. I have cousins who are like that. Fuck off. Alright. But overall, I've enjoyed this album. Wolves, House of Fire, Violence, Welcome to the Breakdown, Far From Perfect. Especially lyrics of Far From Perfect. Definitely quite inspirational in its own right. Far from perfect, we're perfect as we are. We are bruised, we are broken, but we are goddamn works of art. And that's definitely a good course to go off of for something good self-esteem builder, I'd say, and kind of something hopefully put your ego to the side a little bit, and just go from there with that. And now there is some bonus tracks on here called Megaphone and Broadcast Signal Frequency, which is only for Best Buy. I do not care for these bonus tracks. They're pretty well just bonus tracks. They're just there. You don't have to get those bonus tracks. You can live without them. But if you feel like the need, you want to check them out anyway, and you don't really want to, and you can't really find them online, I guess. It's probably just, I guess, go ahead if you have to. But I wouldn't recommend going to get it for just those 2 bonus tracks. I wish that if they were far more... they're no Alter Bridge when it comes to that stuff, I'll tell you that. But overall, this album has its flaws. It's not nearly in this... I guess you could say that last time, though I didn't like it, I understood that it was trying to be different and somewhat creative compared to the others, and I at first embraced it, but not realizing that it just didn't really mesh well or grow on you more after repeated listens, as opposed to albums like this or even Endgame. Endgame was that good course correction, and it seems they've went back to that in the Appeal to Reason, somewhere in between that, and maybe some Suffer in the Witness here and there in terms of the heavier stuff. Violence is definitely a damn good choice for a lead-off single. But overall, I've enjoyed this album. It's been quite enjoyable. It's been quite enjoyable, and I'm hoping you guys give this album a chance. I'm definitely giving it a thumbs up for right now. It's definitely far from perfect. Get it? But it is perfect as it is. Or at least enough as it is. And it's definitely worth checking. It's definitely worth checking out. You may make some album of the year lists, possible honorable mentions here and there. There for sure. I definitely dig it. Rise Against hasn't really made a bad album necessarily, but they've definitely made albums that maybe turned your head a little bit to where you're like, I don't know. like what Black Market did, but with most people, which is why this album is the way that it is, and pretty much why we're not seeing Bill Stevenson and Jason Livermore's involvement as producers, or just though it would have helped to keep Chris Lord-Alge as a mixer for this album, but what we do get is fine from Dee Sardy, who mixed this album, but I mean, it's fine. I like this. I mean, I just enjoy this album for what it is. I mean, there's clearly some far more superior albums here I could recommend you anyway. And, yeah. Overall, yeah. I'd say it's pretty damn good, but I'd still probably prefer the Interalia album from At the Drive-In, for damn sure. But, Wolves by Rise Against, what did you guys think? Comment below, let me know. Did you enjoy this album at all? Hell, if you want to give more of an explanation as to why than what I clearly have, then go right ahead. Just you know, be cool about it, you know? Or else you're not going to see what you've probably written again. I've made my decision on dealing with these fucktards out there. So, yeah. Other than that, love y'all. As always, guys, keep it random, keep it real, keep it rocking. And I'll see you for the next review or two in the coming week or so. Also looking forward to that new Leprous album, as well as Steven Wilson, in terms of the proggier stuff. Other than that, not really much to look forward to. I'll see what Weezer has to offer, but that worries me. As long as they don't do as bad as Linkin Park did with One More Light, I think we'll be okay. Hell, I'm worried this one album that I might be, even though it might be better, I'm not expecting much out of it. Ugh. Alright, yeah, I'm a little tired now. Oh, probably gonna go to bed after this. Anyways, once again, keep it random, keep it real, keep it rocking. As I should always properly close it out, and take care, y'all. Listen to it.